Here's the situation we're going to address. We need to load content from 3 different sources into 3 div tags on our page. Once all the content is loaded, we'll enable another element that is disabled by default. Here's the layout that we'll use. We're using CSS to style the divs and position them side by side. We're also using a radial gradient on each one, just because. Notice the Proceed button is disabled. This page doesn't do anything yet. For now, it's just showing the layout that we're going to use. Here's the HTML that produces this page. jQuery and a CSS file are referenced in the head section. We have a Load button, 3 divs with unique IDs, a Proceed button, and a div to hold any messages we might use in debugging. And finally, there's an empty document ready function in the script block. Here's the CSS that is used for the page. It's pretty simple. Each section uses absolute positioning and has the same width and height. Since we're using Firefox, that's the only radial gradient that we have defined. If we wanted to have this work in multiple browsers, we'd need a different CSS gradient definition for each one, at least for now. The left position is the only style that is unique for each section. Since we want the divs to be side by side, we give each one a different left position. Notice the overflow Y style. Since we know we'll be loading content into a div after it has been rendered by the browser, we need to tell the browser how to handle content that won't fit within the div. If we don't have this style, the content will display beyond the borders of the div. With this style in place, a scroll bar will be added whenever the content exceeds the limits of the div. The Proceed button is also absolutely positioned, as is our Messages area. Now that we've looked at the head and body tags of the page, we can collapse them with Notepad++ so we can focus on the code that we need to use. If anything changes in the head or the body, we'll be sure to expand it and see what's new. Notice how our script tag starts on line 16. That shouldn't change unless we make some addition to the HTML. Our task is to load some dynamic content, so let's take a look at the first content page we want to load.